I like this guy. They are funny guys.
For Friday night, July the 27th. This is Around Midnight with the Local Boys. I am Joe Carbonetta. Say hello to Chevelle Devine and Todd Fluker sitting here with me.
What?
How you guys doing tonight?
I'd be better. Oh, there it is.
What?
So weird.
What's the problem?
I think I broke Facebook.
Oh,
We should probably talk about that.
with your
at some
face?
point. Never mind.
Wow, is it just me or is the equipment like glowing hot tonight?
It is like 190 million degrees in here.
That's the Earth.
I'm serious. My mixing console is like really warm to the touch, and that's very unusual for this thing.
You don't want to touch my laptop then, because it's always hot.
Yeah, okay, well, maybe is it because we're just so smoking hot, our TV show?
I can't
Yeah, and Trump's not president.
can't even dignify that.
Well, wait, remember, we are the #1 rated show on Friday night on the internet, remember?
Yeah.
We're perpetuating that.
Truth.
Number one in our class.
We're perpetuating that, was it alternate fact?
That's it. So tweet that. Tweet the fact that we are the #1 show on Friday night.
Tweet the alternate fact.
This is, again, Mixified Media Solutions Around Midnight with the Local Boys. We are live, and you can join the conversation tonight on the Facebook chat, or you can give us a call at 951-356-6882, because that's the number that, not so coincidentally, will put you in touch with Mixified Media Solutions on a Monday through Friday basis.
How do these things work?
See, that's called a transducer. What happens is
Did he seriously start explaining this?
Explaining how
sound
microphones
waves-
work.
And am I seriously surprised that he did?
That's what he does.
okay. I'll you know
So
what?
if you want to know how this works, hit up Mixify.
Yeah, I'll finish schooling you on this
He'll
after the
answer
show.
the
Yeah, that's right. And if you want an explanation, you can call us, and I'll talk to you about that too.
Stop knocking over my drinks.
My bad.
But anyway, going back to what I was saying, you can get us on the Facebook chat.
Oh my
You
God, you
What
gotta be
are you
kidding me.
doing?
I don't have a lot of real estate. We go through this every time.
You have the most real estate of anyone. Who has the least amount of equipment?
Okay, yeah, I can't argue with that.
You can also tweet us at Joe Carbonetta, at Chevelle Devine, or at Todd Fluker. You can email us at Mixified@gmail, or check us out on our website, Mixified.com. Okay, guys, let's get into the show now that we've done that whole
What was it,
bit.
like 3 minutes of nonsense?
I think pretty much. But, you know, that's the usual first 3 minutes.
Well, I mean, you could say it's an hour of nonsense. We just haven't gotten to it yet.
That's true. That's also very, very true. Like us, share us,
give us
tweet
time.
us, do all kinds of stuff for us, please.
Pay us?
Pay us would be good. That would be excellent, as a matter of fact. You know, if you're watching the show
I don't
tonight
think we can do that on Facebook.
and you're looking for your next
You're gonna mess
big
around and get us shut
radio hosts, why don't you give the Local Boys a call? You can call the same Mixified number. Is that live number? That's either it's up there on the screen right now. Because we're for hire. we want to be on your radio station, and we'll scare away all the listeners. Are you
Let's
drinking?
start doing product placement.
I thought he was drinking my soda now, because I know he spilled all of yours, and I thought he was drinking mine. Anyway,
We're for hire at any price.
that's it. We'll work for food. No, that's not true.
Well,
Chevelle
your
will work for
mattress is
food.
free. I will work for
Chevelle
food.
will work. He will work for food. Totally.
Wait, what's the saying? Is it a steal at any price?
You lost me, bro.
I don't think
Is that a thing?
that doesn't describe
That
us.
sounds like a thing.
That's not a thing. It's a thing now. All right, let's add
That's
that
it.
to the
We're,
hashtag.
yeah, we're adding that
Hashtag
to
a
the.
steal at any price.
We're adding that perpetual myth, the steal at any price, and we are the #1 rated show on Friday nights. Okay, guys, I wanted to jump right into this just because it was so outrageous, and I wish I had that soundbite of Lionel Richie saying outrageous, but I don't. But this was so outrageous that the MGM resorts are suing 1,000 people, the victims of that mass shooting, so that it's a preemptive strike. They're using little known and never used before federal law, to try and shield themselves from any kind of financial responsibility for the injuries and deaths that occurred at the mass shooting that took place in Las Vegas over last summer.
The part about that I find hard to believe is that it's never been used before.
You know what? It's interesting, and you can check this out. There are multiple articles.
I will be fact-checking every word of this.
I've actually been quoting some of the stuff that's coming from the New York Times article. But at the time that this originally was posted, or it was originally discussed in the media, which was the beginning of this month, the attorneys for the MGM had actually admitted that they'd only discovered this law 2 weeks prior to them implementing it in a preemptive strike to absolve themselves of any financial responsibility.
Wow, do you think that was one of those like Newsies-style stop the press moments where the legal secretary or somebody like had a piece of paper and they're running through the halls like, look at this, Mr. Partner, sir?
You think that's what it was?
Yeah.
And they were like, and he took off his monocle, or his monocle fell off of his face, and he was like, my God.
It could be. That might very well be how it went down. I don't know.
His brandy, he almost dropped his brandy snifter.
That could be. But the thing
then he says
about
something
this,
like, "Go ring Jibs right now."
the thing about this is, it occurs to me, let me take a step back. MGM is afraid that if they end up paying all of these people, and at least there's at least 1,000 victims, that this could, in theory, bankrupt the company. I mean, they'd go under. But the way I see it, this was as dumb a move as you could possibly make. If the public is as outraged as the Times would like to portray, all they need to do
it might not be. The
is
Times
simply
does exaggerate.
Well, this is true, but all the general public needs to do is boycott all the MGM properties, and
Never
they go
gonna
under
happen.
anyway.
Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. They have like half the hotels on the Strip as it is. You'd have to not go to Vegas.
There are other places you can go. This might be a perfect opportunity for California to really go whole hog on the gambling thing and actually start generating some revenue for the state that we could actually use. Instead of trying to tax the heck out of us for driving our car down the street, why don't we just open up a few more? Well, you know what the problem with that is, now that I think about it, I bet the Native American tribes would probably take
words.
an issue with the state getting involved in gambling.
They
like
had
that.
an issue with it when they first passed the law. And the only reason they were even able to do it is because they made a bunch of concessions.
Well, but see, that's the thing. I don't think the Native American tribes would want anybody honing in on their business. I mean, they're
Some of
already
them already
competing.
have. A lot of them kind of, I shouldn't say a lot of them, but there are some who basically farm it out to the same companies that are running Vegas.
Well, yeah, what are all those casinos they have downtown now, like the Bike and the Hustler
Bicycle,
and the other.
That's true. That's true. But you know what? I would be all right with them putting all the Native Americans in charge of all the casinos. We could just open up our own version of Las Vegas out in Palm Springs or something like that. Let the Native Americans run the whole operation. And we just get some of the revenue back here, so long as they're not trying to jack up my gasoline taxes and my vehicle registration fees anymore. I'm all good with it.
Now you know they wouldn't not jack up your taxes. You would have a gambling tax. In fact, I'm trying to plan a trip to Vegas because my wife's got a movie that's coming out, and it's
Was that a
in
shameless
festival.
plug right here? Is that what that was?
No, but it turned out that way.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
And
What's the name of it?
I should probably know the answer to that question. I can never remember. Something about.
Goodness.
Wow.
I just call it the Smoking Hot Babe movie.
Is that because your wife is in this? Is
Well,
that what?
duh.
While you look that up, there are some pretty interesting stats in this article about the MGM on Forbes.com. They have a article talking about this MGM Resort lawsuit. Some of these numbers are pretty staggering because they're talking about how 800 people were injured that day. but only 422 of that was gunfire.
Well,
Yeah, you
so
got
the rest
trampling
was
and
just
everything else.
screaming,
you have
trampling people.
Come on, I mean, it's the mob mentality. You know, you hear gunshots, everybody just starts running. Well, no, wait a minute.
Not
What-
everybody.
I was gonna say, what was that comedian who says that the white people always stand up and
What was that?
That's they're the
But
ones that
I
get
better
picked off.
This was a country music one, so they're not.
So it
There's
was
a lot
all
of
white people.
investigating.
So okay, so 50% of them just stood there like deer in the headlights, evidently, and the other 50% trampled each other.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
I know we're gonna get some hate mail for that comment
If-
right there.
if that's the
Better
case,
you said it than me.
then they might have a point. I feel like at a certain point, if there's that many people that were injured for, I don't know what you would call it, logistical reasons, like they didn't have enough security that were
Here's the
you
problem
know,
with that whole scenario.
ushering people out in an emergency situation.
Wait.
that many people were injured by trampling and other such things.
Yeah. So wait, are you calling those people collateral damage? Is that what you're referring?
I'm
is that-
saying maybe MGM should have had better.
I
But
think
no,
there's
but
no
no,
steps
question.
in
There's
place.
absolutely no way, because if you do that, then every single event is essentially going to end up having staff that outnumbers the amount of people at the event, and nobody's going to want to foot the bill for that, and nobody's going to go because that would jack the cost up so much.
Okay, but
so the question is, how many people do you have to go? Do you have to plan for every contingency? Because if that's the case, you got to plan for a meteorite falling from the sky, or somebody's going to sue you. That's a little unreasonable.
This is not even so much about that. What about the fact that they gave this guy VIP status, and for a week he had access to service elevators where he was continually bringing more and more weapons up there unchecked?
But then here's the thing, though. One thing, and I mean, we all know this was a terrible event. It's one of the worst in America's history. But I do have a problem with trying to regulate everybody based on the stupidity of one person. What needs to happen, and this guy's dead now, so it's kind of a non-issue. But
It's an issue.
yeah,
well-
it's still an issue.
okay, it's still an issue, but I don't understand.
Chevelle, stop saying dumb things. Jeez.
I don't understand why it is we feel like we've got to pass a law or sue somebody over some situations that a lot of people just don't have control over.
Oh
Like, you
yeah,
don't have
this'll-
control
this'll
over that.
never come up again. We don't have to worry about guns ever again.
Okay,
Doop-de-doop-de-doo.
but here's the deal. Like, I'm the same guy. I don't want to get stopped when I go to the airport by 8 different levels of TSA. I want to be able to walk right up to the gate. And I want, when I get off a plane, for my family to be able to greet me
See,
at the gate.
I'm gonna
I want that,
say,
so I'm okay with that.
I'm going to say that my issue with this situation, where I believe the culpability lay, is in the fact that they enabled this guy to bring these weapons in because there was no
But
scrutiny.
no, you can't
In
say
fact,
that.
they went
You
out of
can't
their
say
way
that.
to make it so that he was anonymous in everything that he was
But how
doing.
can
No,
he not say that? It's exactly what happened.
You're saying that because when you say it the way you're saying it, you make it sound like they're complicit in his crime, and they're not. They thought they were just offering good customer service, and you can't fault somebody.
But in this day and age, you're the same guy. You're the same guy the
Joe,
other day. Wait.
Joe,
hang
hold on. No,
you
let
are
me
the
finish
same
my
guy.
statement.
All right, go ahead.
No, all right, because I'll shoot you down after you go.
Okay.
Probably a poor
You
time
are
to
the
say
same
that.
guy who 2 weeks ago, when I was discussing the fact that I should not have to. Todd was making fun of me, saying, I shouldn't have to worry about leaving my keys in the car and then somebody stealing my. No, I shouldn't because
totally
it's my
different.
car. And what you're saying now
That's
is
totally
that they
different.
shouldn't have had to. They shouldn't have to worry about this guy possibly bringing all this stuff up. If
Well,
I
no,
go
that's
through-
not what I'm saying.
If
first off.
I walk
That's
into
not what I'm saying.
Disneyland, if I walk into Disneyland carrying a backpack, they're gonna make me take the bag off. They're gonna go all the way through it, and then I gotta pass through a bunch of metal detectors before I can walk in the door. But they let this guy go up and down carrying all these big cases, and they gave him a private elevator to do it.
But Joe, we're talking about Las Vegas. Think about that. And Las Vegas is crime central. This whole place is built on
Maybe
vice.
it's because they do things like give people
You're
private elevators and
absolutely
no
correct.
supervision.
But the thing is, there would not be a Las Vegas if it wasn't for that vice. Now, I'm not saying that as an excuse.
my goodness, no Las Vegas.
What I'm saying is,
I can't remember the last time I went to Vegas.
What I'm saying is, they thought they were offering genuine service, and I'm not a fan of Vegas myself. I really don't think it's a fun place to go. That's just me.
Yeah, maybe it's because I'm poor, but yeah, I don't really enjoy going to Vegas. I have
It's
no
just-
money to gamble.
Las Vegas is a little too extra for me. But
Yeah,
at the
I'm
same
sorry, a little
time,
too what?
extra. It's just too
You
much.
small
Extra? What
you
is
small-
extra?
Never mind, Joe.
You small fish don't know nothing about Vegas.
I can't hold the guy who's working the gate at the service elevator responsible for a maniac. I just can't see doing that. That's like You're going to hold somebody who's probably getting paid less than minimum wage responsible for doing what they're told?
I'm not holding the security guy because I'm sure the policy was that he wasn't supposed to bother him. I'm holding the executives, the same people who are trying to sue the victims now so they don't get in trouble, so
I
that
do
they
have a
can
problem
keep
with that.
they can keep stuffing their pockets with the money.
I do have a problem with them suing. That's all kinds of bass backwards.
We got some people on the Facebook live chat.
Oh, all right.
Looks like we've been neglecting it for a little while. Kelly's jumping on.
Hey, Kelly. Thanks for commenting this
She's
evening.
getting some jabs in on Chevelle. She says Chevelle will work for food, but it would probably be cheaper to just pay him. Good one.
Oh,
She's probably right.
My goodness. Wait.
And Eric's jumping in. He says, sounds like a new Trump law would have
Sounds like a law Trump would have
came
come
up with.
Todd can't read.
Came up with. And do you know if the Manchester victims sued the stadium? Because there was that big thing in England where it was
It's not
Ariana
uncommon.
Grande concert and what? Some guy ran over. Did
Well,
he run over
okay,
a bunch of
but
people, or
wait,
was he stabbing people? It was
We
something
can't.
like that.
That I don't know. That doesn't make any sense because you're talking about a different country which has completely different laws.
But it's not about the
But
laws.
it's not
about
it's not
holding,
dissimilar.
It's holding somebody responsible for the actions of what was essentially mass chaos, and that's why I'm not excusing MGM for this lawsuit. That is
Again,
unconscionable.
I don't think anybody's
But I don't
holding
think-
them responsible for the mass
I don't
chaos.
think-
It's the fact that this guy was allowed to get weapons up into his room and use them the way he did.
I have a problem with saying he was allowed to do that. They did not know.
Okay, would you prefer it if I said he was enabled to do that? Does it make
I don't
is
even
it-
know that I would be okay with that. He was not enabled to do that.
I think as a poor man walking into any hotel Las Vegas, I can tell you how it goes.
I tell you
That
what, you're
I-
a poor man, so it doesn't matter.
I walk in the door and I go through the main entrance that everybody else goes through, and I got to go past that security guy who's sitting right there who wants to see my room key and looks at every bag I'm carrying in before I walk past him to the elevators that'll take me up to my room.
I have never had that happen, and I'm black.
Really? You've
I
never?
have never had anybody ask me to go through my bags.
I
I've
didn't say
never
they went
had-
through my bag,
I've
but I said
never
they
had
look at all of my bags.
I'm sure they have
And
cameras.
I'm pretty
I know for
sure
a fact they
that
have
if I
cameras
started trying to
everywhere.
walk in with a bunch
I've
of
never
violin
had anybody
cases,
ask me with my room key. They're not violin cases.
no, they were really big, strange, bulky cases.
They probably look like cases instruments would be in, like big rectangular cases, like the cases
And-
you carry all your audio
And
equipment in.
after the second or third day of bringing that up, I'm thinking somebody would say, "What are you moving in?"
Yeah, and somebody probably did. But here's the thing.
They're like, have a good day, sir.
How often do you think that kind of thing happens where they don't care? Because I'm telling you, it happens, especially when you're talking about high rollers. They're walking around with actual tons of
Well,
cash.
you also can't really discount how bad people are at their jobs overall.
So you're saying that there's actually a lower level than the TSA, and those people are in charge of
Absolutely.
hotel
yeah.
and security in
there's
Vegas.
definitely a lower level of incompetence, I'm sure.
No, that would be a higher level of incompetence.
I think
Don't
both
tell
apply.
me how incompetent you are. I know how incompetent you are.
What? Yeah.
This
okay.
is where you're supposed to put the crickets
Yeah,
in.
I know
so-
exactly. That's what I was thinking. I should really hit the crickets for this, but I don't even know where to go with that.
And then Kelly's jumping in. She says, "How are the people? They're just because they need to pay their medical bills." But I mean, that's what they're saying is MGM is doing this as a preemptive strike. Nobody's actually sued MGM yet.
No, nobody has yet, and what they're trying to do is get the federal government to absolve them of responsibility. Basically, it's like filing bankruptcy without filing bankruptcy, so
Yeah.
that they just they're completely protected.
So in theory, if MGM wins this case, all they win is the fact that they don't have to pay anybody.
Exactly. Yeah. So far, they're not suing anybody for money. Just they are suing so that they can't
They're
themselves
suing
get
to
sued.
absolve themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, they're trying to do a preemptive strike, and I don't know, not give the what would you call it, the prosecution any time to properly prepare a case. Basically,
Well, I mean, this happened a while ago, so I'm sure there are cases pending. They just probably, I don't know what's been filed or not filed.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
for a fact, some lawyer, as soon as that happens, was like, oh, yeah, payday.
All right. Well, so this
Only
is
in America, folks.
Yeah, this is a nice, interesting twist on this, and I'm really disgusted. I've never been a big fan of Vegas, but I can tell you personally, I'm going to go out of my way to not go to an MGM property if I should happen to have to go to Vegas anytime in the next several years. So,
But you can't. That's not even just Vegas.
hey, you know what? But see, no, it's easy for me. I'm poor because I'll just go to Motel 6 anyway. So
they probably have stakes in that.
that's probably true also. But see, this could be Hilton's chance to get back in the game. Since Paris has disappeared from everything and the Hilton name is no longer in the media all the time, maybe this is Hilton's chance to say, hey, guess what? We have never sued victims at our hotel. Why don't you come stay with us?
Not once.
Anyway, this is Around Midnight with the Local Boys. We'll be back right after this. Around Midnight is a production of Mixified Media Solutions. Mixified is a full-service multimedia production company. From boardroom to broadcast, whatever your production needs, Mixified is your solution. Go to Mixified.com, that's MIXAFIED, or call 951-356-6882. Mixified Media Solutions. Malibu Film Festival's films, charity events, and special programs continue to evolve in support of the arts in your community. And you can help by becoming a sponsor of the Malibu Film Festival. You can check them out at MalibuFilmFestival.com, and you can help them out at MalibuFilmFestival.com/donate. All right, so this is Around Midnight with the Local Boys. Again, I am Joe Carbonetta. I am joined by Chevelle Devine and Todd Fluker. We are live for Friday, July the 27th, and you can give us a call at 951-356-6882 or join us on the Facebook chat, because that's the only way you'd be watching us right now anyway. See how that works? And you can always...
It sounded really complicated.
You can get a hold of us you can tweet us at Joe Carbonetta, at Todd Fluker, at Chevelle Devine. We'd love to hear from you, so write us, do something. Like us, share us, friend us, tweet us, do all kinds of stuff.
Do something.
Do something. That's it. And anyway, going back into this evening's discussion, I found this interesting, guys, and I wanted to share this with you just because I know what you're going to say. And so I'm not even going to bring it up. I'll let you guys do this. A new study has concluded that people over the age of 30 tend to stop seeking out new music, and they suffer from what they're terming musical paralysis.
That happened to you when you were like 12.
See, I knew it. I was waiting for it to come. And so anyway, yeah, I find this very interesting that they've concluded this, by the way, was a very, very small poll. They spoke with 1,000 Americans to figure this out. And again, you can check this out on the internet. Look up musical paralysis. You can find all kinds of stuff on it. Interestingly enough, they determined that people do the most to seek out new music at about the age of 26. And roughly 4 years later, at the end, they've narrowed this down to the age of 29 years and 10 months, people begin to suffer from musical paralysis, and they stop looking for new music.
26? That sounds late to me. I feel like it would have been younger.
I don't know, because if you go by just like typical American activity, up until that time, that's about the time you're actually really by yourself, because all the other time your musical likes are typically dictated by what's on the radio when you're young, the groups you run with in junior high, high school, and eventually when you go into college and it's all party, blah, blah, blah. Then you get a job and discover that life is real and you got to do something, and you got to look for that thing that
You're saying you actually become your own person at that point? You're no longer subject to peer pressure?
I wouldn't say you're not subject to it, but you become
less influenced by it. Okay, all right.
You've kind of, whatever peer pressures you're going to give into, you've kind of given into them by that point. So if you're going to look out something new, it's going to be on your own terms.
Interesting. Well, you know what? I'm almost going to agree with you, but not so much. 12 is a little bit of an exaggeration. But
I don't know.
Certainly by the time I was probably in my early 20s, I was already on the downhill side of that, looking for new music stuff.
Man.
I pretty much decided by that point that music was actually going down the drain. As has actually been scientifically proven. If you recall, probably a couple months back, we did that show where there was a scientific study that shows that music has become oversimplified and more or less garbage.
More or less.
Yeah, well, that's what the study concluded. I think the
talk.
Smithsonian had something
All
to do
right.
with that. But so yeah, what about you, Todd? When would you say you actually stopped looking for new music?
I mean, actively seeking it out. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much locked into the radio station that I listened to, in high school, and that was pretty much it. I'm not even sure why I started listening to it. I feel like
In high school, so we're still
Yeah.
talking like 16, 17
I
years
feel like
old.
16, 17, that's where it, before that I would just, I was riding in the car with my mom, and then after that, when you're actually riding in the car by yourself and you get to choose, you get the power, then you're kind of
then the
figuring it
musical
out for
paralysis
yourself.
kicked in for you right there at 17 years old. You just stopped looking for anything else.
Yeah, I mean, once I found ska music, why do you need anything else? There's absolutely no reason to keep looking.
Does that genre even exist anymore?
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh,
if you listen,
yeah.
all genres exist. It's just they're not on the radio.
Ah, yeah, that's true. Because
Yeah, you should talk.
well,
it was more recent than your favorite genre.
I'm not even going to
music.
argue with you. I believe I've even said as much on the show, but I think it's pretty evident based on a couple of the shows we did a few weeks prior that 80s is pretty much where I topped out. Literally after that decade,
Topped
it all
out?
started going right downhill.
Tapped out.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I enjoy the music, and I realize this is going to make me very square. I enjoy a lot of jazz. I like Latin jazz. I loved the big band jazz of the 40s and the 50s. I even liked the adult contemporary jazz. The new age stuff.
I'm mad that they call that jazz.
It was okay. I'll call it jazz-esque. It was born out of the whole fusion thing. But anyway,
Nah, it wasn't.
yeah, it was.
Nah, it wasn't.
Okay, whatever. So I enjoyed that. I listened to the music of the 70s. That was all good. Disco was fine. I was cool with that. 80s was great, and then after that, it just kind of started tanking.
I don't know. There's some good stuff out
Now,
there.
yeah, that having been said, there are occasionally one or two acts that come along that are pretty decent, but I will say that most of those acts are usually channeling some form of the 80s.
A throwback style.
Yeah, when the music turns out to be really good. And
Well, I mean,
you
there's
can't
a strong...
argue that either.
Yes, you can.
No, you
Oh,
can't.
you
Yes, you
definitely
can.
can argue
You can
it.
definitely argue that.
Chevelle can argue anything.
That doesn't make it right.
Because I specifically remember in the 80s, my dad telling me that a lot of the stuff that they were playing at the time sounded like music in the 60s. And it's the same thing that's happening now, because a lot of the music that's out now, they're sampling stuff from the 90s. A lot of stuff before that, they were doing remakes of the stuff from the 80s. So it all comes in cycles. It's all the same stuff. Because I still remember, I hated that song, The Locomotion. Who did that song?
That was Kylie Minogue.
I
who
hated
did the
that, and that was a
Locomotion.
remake of
It was
a
a remake
60s
of a
song.
60s song. Yes, it was.
So it's the same stuff. What they do is they get a new electronic instrument and stick it underneath.
But I'm not talking about line for line remakes. I'm talking about the music.
So am I, especially when you
borrowing
talk about the genres you're
styles.
talking about, the genres of pop, R&B, which are the top ones.
Every decade of music has covers of
no,
older
I'm not talking
songs.
about covers. I'm talking about format, because the pop song formula is exactly that. It's a formula, and I don't remember what. Do we talk about it on the show? Where it's like basically two guys writing all of the pop music nowadays?
No, I don't believe we've ever had
Oh,
that conversation.
There's like, if you go back over the last 20 or 30 years, most of the number one Billboard and all the other chart songs were written by one of two people.
And those were.
There's one Swedish guy and some other. They're both like middle-aged white guys.
I don't think that's an
Look it
accurate
up.
statement.
Look it up.
ABBA.
Look it up.
All written
Abba's
by
Abba's been
No,
writing songs
one
for
of
everybody.
those two guys
No,
from ABBA.
and they're like Britney Spears, all of the pop, all those pop, all of that
Okay,
stuff. It's
again,
all written by the same
you're talking
people.
about trash, basically.
No,
'cause
I'm talking
Britney
about
Spears,
number one hits.
Yes,
and you're
but
calling it trash, but this goes all the way back to the 80s.
Britney Spears was not.
Well, I
You know
mean,
what?
you're not going to get an argument from me
I
on
don't
that.
believe, and I could be wrong, and maybe somebody will point their finger at me 20 years from now, but I don't believe 20 years from now there's going to be radio stations playing Britney Spears and going, "You remember when?"
Oh, I bet you they will.
I don't think they will.
Bro, if I can turn on to the radio station right now and hear MC Hammer, I guarantee you they're going to be playing Britney Spears in 20 years.
MC Hammer had some redeeming qualities.
MC Hammer was MC Hammer, man.
He had redeeming qualities.
So does Britney Spears. I
let's
can think of two.
What would those be? Because let's think about this. MC Hammer actually ended up going bankrupt because he was trying to pay it forward all of the guys that he grew up with who came from
Oakland.
no means. Yeah, basically, when he made it big, he didn't forget where he came from, and he ended up bankrupting himself in the process. Britney Spears, on the other hand, had to shave herself bald because she was afraid her ex-husband, who was also a nut job, was going to call her out on her drug habit and have her kids stripped from her.
Every song.
Come on, are you
Every song
saying
you
that there
love
were
was written
no
by the
drug
same
addicts
two
in the
guys.
80s? Because how many of the
we're
artists
talking
that we're
about
talking
MC,
about?
You cited MC Hammer. We're talking about
MC Hammer wasn't a drug
MC Hammer
addict.
is also the guy who, when Sinead O'Connor refused to sing the national anthem, at a performance here in the United States, said, "Go back to your own country, and I'll buy you the plane ticket," and he did.
Good. Why are you yelling?
I'm just saying. You cannot compare Britney
Can't touch
Spears
this.
to MC Hammer.
I'm not comparing Britney
You
Spears
did.
to MC
That's
Hammer.
exactly what you
I am
did.
comparing the fact that you go back and MC Hammer, by I would say a fair majority, everybody listened to it from that era, but not everybody was feeling it, but they listened to it because that's what you heard on the radio, and it's going to be the same with Britney. I guarantee it.
The people that weren't
I guarantee
feeling it were the people who were mad at MC Hammer because he was doing commercial rap that was actually getting him paid, and the hardcore guys wanted to put a hit out on him. Or do you not remember that?
Actually, it's kind of vice versa. Hammer was putting hits on people, bro.
I don't think so.
Google it. He denies it now, but it got pretty deep at some point.
Why would Hammer put
Bro,
a hit on anybody?
I'm not getting into that story, but look it up. It happened. It happened.
Okay. Anyway, Todd, you've become noticeably silent on this. What?
Yeah, he's
What-
got, what is it? He's got show paralysis.
Yeah. What are you looking up there, Todd?
I'm looking up this article about that. I'm trying to find the actual name
But
because I
did
found
you,
the headline that says
Yeah.
every song you love was written by the same
Same two
two
guys.
guys. And there's a picture here. I guess that's there. Lucas
Gottwald
and Max Martin.
Practically every song over like the last 20, maybe 30, probably 20 years for sure.
Yeah, and there's a long article talking about Chris Brown and Rihanna and a bunch of other BS.
All of them. All of them. All the way back. Two guys. Practically every hit for the last 20 years.
Huh. Interesting.
Two middle-aged white guys.
We'll have to do some research on that. I'm kind of curious.
he
now.
just did.
No. He was. What you didn't see in that, or I don't know if you did. If you put that whole thing up there on the screen, what you probably didn't see was the picture of these women to the right of that, and I'm pretty sure that's all Todd was actually looking at the whole time.
Oh yeah, that's good.
That's
stuff.
that girl that got beat down in the McDonald's.
Yeah.
If you don't know what we're talking about there, Chevelle, why don't you explain that about the McDonald's thing?
And I'm not sure at what
you gotta
point,
look-
but Rieta jumped in on the Facebook chat. She says, "I agree 100% with Joe."
Thank you, Rieta. I appreciate that.
I don't know if she's right.
I'm wondering at what point. Well, it's all
It was
right.
before
It
the
doesn't
break.
really matter because I'm right all the time. I'm all right all the time, and Chevelle is all wrong
Do you
all the
say-
time.
Do you say all white?
Alternate facts.
all white.
I
all
did
the
not
time?
say all white. Why are you trying to start some kind of a thing?
Hey, he's just being honest, man.
Okay. Anyway, I think it's time for another break. As a matter
Oh,
of
you
fact,
can't take the heat? Now we going to take a break?
As a matter of fact,
You
it
mad
really,
'cause Chevelle was right about the
it
two
really
middle-aged
is
white
hot in
guys?
there.
And well, you got it.
I'm
You got it.
still,
I'm right.
I'm still questioning
It's time to take
the
a break
veracity
now.
of that story
You're proving me incorrect.
because we all know that everything on the internet is
I'm
true.
going to talk over you while I play this music in the background.
We all know everything on the internet is totally true, and we should just take it as gospel. But anyway,
That sounds about right.
yeah. So this is Around Midnight with the Local Boys, and we'll be back again right after this. Again, I'm Joe Carbonett. I got Todd Fluker there. I got Chevelle Devine. And yeah, we're live. So give us a call, 951-356-6882. We'll talk to you in a minute. Around Midnight is a production of Mixified Media Solutions. Mixified is a full-service multimedia production company. From boardroom to broadcast, whatever your production needs, Mixified is your solution. Go to Mixified.com, that's Mixafied, or call 951-356-6882. Mixified Media Solutions. All right, this is Around Midnight for Friday, July the 27th. I am Joe Carbonetta, one of the local boys. I've got Chevelle Devine and Todd Fluker. And, of course, you. Thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you're having a wonderful Friday night. And we want to thank you for watching us. We also want you to like us and share us. And we'd like you to join the Facebook chat tonight. And even maybe give us a call, 951-356-6882, because while we do absolutely love your written input, we'd really love to hear your voice. And we'll put you on the show with us tonight if you call.
Were you about to say on the air and you pulled back?
I was almost going to say on the air, but we're not actually on the air. We're on the net now.
We're not on any air.
You have to know
I mean,
that
a lot of people are on Wi-Fi, so you could be on the air.
that is true, Todd. That is very true. But you have to know, if you're watching this show and you've only started watching the new episodes, we've actually been doing this show since that early 90s?
Ugh.
And we were on the air at that time.
And we seriously couldn't come up with something better to do with a Friday.
I know, and so we're back to doing this on Friday nights. We flash forward, I don't know how many years it's been, and now we're all old and fat, and we've got kids and everything, because we were young 20-somethings when we started doing this show. But yeah, we're still here. And
Still got nothing to do on a Friday night.
yeah, we're not on the
now
air,
is
though.
an excuse to get away from, well, it was kind of an excuse then, too. I mean, I love my wife.
Okay, anyway.
I thought it was an excuse to go to Caro's at 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's what we used to do after the show, was go to Caro's at 2 o'clock in the morning. That was actually a lot of fun, but yeah, we don't get to do that anymore.
Except for the other 80 patrons in there, like, why do these guys keep singing these stupid 80s songs?
Remember we used to go bowling every week?
That was awesome. I miss those days. I really do.
Yeah, my bowling shoes are, I think they're all brittle and breaking apart now.
I actually had to
they
buy.
haven't been used.
I had to buy new bowling shoes
You
a while
seriously
back.
went and bought new
I
bowling
did. Hey, I still go bowling when I can. My and even my kids love bowling, but
What kind of average you rocking now?
oh god, it's pathetic now. I'm lucky if I hit 150. My
Wow,
average.
Dang, the
that's
pie roller.
terrible.
I thought he was going to say 50. I'm like, I got you beat. I could pull a 51 or 52.
No,
on a good
no.
day.
Do you remember I used to bowl up in the 200s, and now
You're just bragging.
Yeah, no. Well, now it's sad. It really is. That's my best game, and after that, it's all downhill.
Yeah, good for one game, and then you're like,
Then pretty much my arm and my shoulder were gone. I'm like, oh, what happened? I'm doing Chevelle, putting the ball in the next lane. You guys remember when he would do that?
No.
It was like when we would go to the bars sometimes after the show, and then we would play pool, and Chevelle would actually put the balls from the table on somebody else's table.
That was called strategy. I was trying to throw you and them off.
That was his mad game. That was his way to try and pick up on a girl, was to plant his ball on their table and then go, "Hi, how you doing? My name's CJ, and I just."
I thought he felt like he could make more points going onto somebody else's table.
I don't know. I don't know
He's
if that
like,
was his deal.
I'm doing terribly on this table. I got to be doing better on some other table.
So speaking of being young, Todd, you came to the table this evening wanting to discuss this thing about plastic and what it's doing to men.
Oh man, you do not even want to know.
I actually probably don't, but let's go ahead and discuss this anyway.
So I saw a headline, jumped right out at me. You know, it really speaks to me as a person. Gets to my core.
This speaks to you, huh?
Yeah,
as a
I'm
person.
like,
Why?
yeah, I'm like, people have to know about this. This is a genuine problem that people should hear about. Like, that's what people are talking about. You know, you hear there's the noise that Trump is making, that all these other news stories just aren't getting the proper coverage that they need. And this is why you go to the internet, to get the real news, not that fake news, people.
Which is why you're watching us right now, because you want the real stories.
You want the real
Gotta do the
talk.
breaking news one on that one.
Okay, all right. Are you ready?
Breaking news.
All right, there you go.
Study warns plastics could be shrinking penises.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah,
There's
there's
a,
gotta
you
be
gotta
like
be
a
ready.
bump, bump,
I know. Yeah, there is.
bump.
I just don't know where it is on this thing. Because you know what it is.
Just hit a
Here we
random
go.
one.
Wait, there we go. You know what it is? It's because I reorganized the whole panel.
Stop touching it.
I know. Well,
Oh,
see,
that's what she
I thought-
said. That's also shrinking penises.
That's exactly. That goes right back. That ties us right back into the story.
How is that an old wives' tale? How is playing with yourself supposedly going to make your penis smaller?
I
Is
don't
that-
know.
No, it's supposed to make you go blind.
Blind? Didn't they say that would
go
make you go
blind.
blind?
And I could
I
see
knew
how
there
that
was
could
some
happen.
negative effect. But
you could see
that
how that
I
would make
ignored.
you. How do you
Well,
know
when
this?
you finish, if you get a good launch, you could put your eye
I
out.
could do it. No, that deserves a
Hey, these are
bump,
facts,
bump,
bro.
bump.
No, that's not
These are
frightening.
facts.
That's
dangerous.
I'm spitting facts, so to speak.
Go!
All right, it's late in the show. We got to cut this out.
So, basically, the story is chemicals in everyday items, from household cleaners to food packaging, can damage a man's package.
Are you quoting something here when you're reading this? By the way,
This is an article on the New York Post.
Oh, okay, all right. Just so wait a minute. I got to back up this for a minute. You say you understand how this could make you blind.
The plastic?
No. The whole thing about
The jerkin.
touching yourself is going to
Jerking the
make you.
gherkin?
Yes, that's going to make you blind.
Choking the chicken? Yeah, absolutely.
Bashing the bishop.
Doing the knuckle shuffle on the bushwhacker? If you're doing it wrong.
Okay. All right. So anyway, all right. Going back, I was really having a hard time with this.
So to speak.
Oh, really?
Button's gonna get worn out.
Yeah, seriously, that one's gonna stop. So okay. So the plastics are causing. How is it causing the shrinkage though? Does the article explain how it's causing shrinkage? And I mean, is this shrinkage when it's sleeping, or is this shrinkage when it's at attention?
I don't know that it goes into details like that. It
These are
says,
important facts.
In 2014, a study led by Sweden's Karlstad University showed the effects of phtalates, a common component of many products, on young males. The researchers showed significant shortening of the distance between the anus and the penis. Bum, bum, bum!
Wait a minute. So is that talking about like the anus and the tip, or is that talking about the taint?
You know,
From the sack to the back?
you know where your penis is attached to your body?
Uh-huh.
That.
That gets smaller?
I just been using my head, like you said.
Huh.
Okay.
This is complicated.
So, but you know what? I did get out of that. It was talking about young males. So I think we're okay here at the table. We can eat all the plastic
Yeah,
we
I
want
think-
because we're old now. It doesn't matter.
I think mainly in this article it talks about a doctor. This phthalates thing, BPA, and to blame for a rising
Don't
number.
tell me it was Dr. Dick Little who came up with this study.
A rise in the number of baby boys being born with genital defects.
Huh.
So yeah, I think it's more
So
of
women
a,
can't eat plastics. It's causing a birth defect?
Yeah, so once again, they're just whipping
Dude,
us into a needless
that's jacked
frenzy.
up.
To that I say,
I've got balls of steel.
Man, that's not cool, bro.
It's totally jacked up, right?
Come
Huh.
on, man. You got to give the kid a head start, man.
Yeah, they got me to click on that link, though.
well, so basically
That's
what
some
you're
clickbait.
suggesting then is we should avoid, for our young male children, we should avoid all products that are stored in plastics of any kind.
That's why you got to get the baby food in the glass jar.
We need to go back to things with the glass jars. That's exactly what I was thinking.
And the plastic diapers, it's probably those two.
Oh, wow. Well, no, but they don't eat those. Does this...
They're-
Well, now,
I mean,
You guys
it's
have met
right
my son,
on,
right?
It's right on the business.
Please don't tell me your son ate a diaper.
he'll eat whatever you get in front of him if you leave him there long enough.
Yep, he is a divine.
Yeah.
I was listening to the other day a podcast, How Stuff Works, or no, it was
That's funny
Stuff
that
you
you would
should
go
know.
into how stuff works right after discussing your junk.
no, it's called Stuff You Should Know, and they were talking about recycling and the state of recycling today, and about how the how there was that big shake-up in the recycling community just recently. How
Oh,
China
yeah, that was the one that
stopped-
inspired by Chevelle's belief that recycling actually costs more money than it saves.
That's what thing they mentioned. They were saying as things, especially like styrofoam, it is a net loss to recycle.
Yep.
Why don't we just stop making styrofoam in the first place? Because I am tired of picking up the packing peanuts from everybody else's Amazon packages in my front yard.
Yeah, they probably should, and that's what they're saying. Those are the
I think
kind of
some
things
places
that are
have
so.
outlawed it, and Amazon actually doesn't use it a lot of time.
Yeah, they just use the.
That plastic bubble
That's
crap.
true.
Bubbles,
I
bubble wrap.
shouldn't accuse Amazon. It was the first thing that came to my mind, but I don't believe I've ever received a package from Amazon that had packing peanuts in it.
In the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an interesting podcast. It was talking about how China was buying up all these recycled materials, but they just stopped because they're kind of an up-and-coming nation, and they were just buying up all this stuff in order to manufacture everything the world needs, because that's what China does.
Yeah.
But nowadays they're like, yeah, we don't actually need all this stuff, and plus a lot of stuff they're buying from America. They're sneaking in a lot of garbage in with the recycled material. They're like, these pallets full of recyclable material need to be less than a certain percentage garbage. And it was just getting too bad, and they were saying no more. So, yeah, China stopped.
Well, now the tariffs on that will make it nearly impossible. So,
Oh, yeah, that's going to work.
Trump will take care of it.
yeah,
Don't worry.
I'm sure he will.
I'm kind of thinking he's full of packing peanuts himself, especially between the ears.
In case people didn't get it, it's got to be between the ears.
I'm just saying.
Oh, well, as long as you're just saying.
Why do you keep going to that freeze frame, Todd? I'm just kind of curious. I realize the viewers at home cannot see this, or maybe they can,
That's-
but you keep coming to this freeze frame where Chevelle is, I don't know what Chevelle's doing,
Well-
and my mouth is agape.
That's a bad
And-
sign, because that's supposed to be our stream, and it's frozen.
Freezing up.
Oh, that is actually our live stream that we're supposed to be
Uh,
looking at that's frozen like that?
Our streaming condition is green. We should be good. I think it's just that Facebook page froze up.
Oh, okay.
But I can't be certain.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Once again, you've got the green light, but we can't believe everything we see on Facebook. So, you know what, if you're watching the show, oh, well, wait a minute. If our stream is frozen, does that mean we can no longer see the Facebook chat?
Chevelle,
Huh.
what's the last chat you have?
Probably that one.
Oh, great.
From you?
Great. So
Yeah.
nobody's checking the Facebook chat now, so they're probably like, why are we bothering?
We have 4 viewers, as far as I can tell. Oh, see, there it moved.
Wow, that looks horrible.
It looks fine on mine. We're good. So
Okay.
Stop talking about it and just keep doing it.
So that's Todd's computer then that just can't handle. It's the heat.
It might be.
Todd's computer is,
No.
is melting down in the heat.
No, it's,
I'm going to start melting down soon. It is so hot in here.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, my
Pretty
God.
bad.
All right. Well, you know what? Speaking of heat, you know what time it is now, guys? It's time for us to discuss what we've had to ingest before the show this evening.
In your face.
Okay.
In your face. Where did you get that?
I put it together, actually.
That's him.
Oh, that's actually you?
No, that's not actually me.
No, it's
but
totally him.
There's a whole bunch of sound bites that I grabbed from
That
all
does
kinds of different
sound
things.
like
and I
it could be you.
cut it all together, and
totally
I thought it was
him.
funny.
Do it, Joe. Say, in your face.
In your face.
See, it
Totally
sounds,
him.
It sounds like him.
That's him.
It is him.
It's him.
Yeah, that was Chevelle screaming, "What?" And go ahead, do that.
What?
No, you gotta scream it because you know you can't. No. He's pretending like he didn't, but he did.
What?
In your face.
Sounds like Harry and the Hendersons.
Would you just start talking about what we
Hey,
ate?
you guys.
It goes downhill from here, people.
Seriously.
Anyhow, what's in your face? I thought Chevelle was going to jump on it, but I'll go
Okay.
ahead and start.
Yeah, you
we,
do it.
We were just driving down the street, like we do on the way to the Studio A, for the show tonight. And we were like, hey, there's some young gentlemen sitting on the street. They seem to be doing something. Let's investigate. And Chevelle was like, I don't think so,
Please
Todd.
don't tell me they were gutting a dog or something.
It's hard to tell from the actual taste of the food we got. It
Oh
could
my
have been.
goodness.
But they had a little. They put together a little taco stand on the street corner, and I was wondering. But did you see how they had a generator?
I
like,
didn't notice. I think they're
Are they
doing
tapping
propane.
into municipal power?
Nah, bruh.
Excellent.
They just had a little generator going.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
'cause they had lights and everything out. Yeah.
so yeah, we had a bunch of tacos, and
That first guy seemed like he was a little irritated.
he did.
I didn't know if it was just me. I mean, I always think people are irritated because
Well, you do have a tendency to rub people the wrong way.
Well,
often.
I mean that is probably part of it, but yeah.
Was it your "Make America Great" hat again? Or your MAGA hat?
That would definitely be the wrong place to wear that hat. I think I'm gonna get one of those. Can you? He probably wants to charge like $800 for that daggone hat.
Yeah. So.
All right, will you let him finish talking about the food?
Yeah, we picked up a variety pack of tacos.
Yeah.
Some
Makeshift tacos.
carnitas tacos, some cabeza tacos, some.
Which, by the way, I would not eat. I will not eat the
Other-
cabeza tacos. All right. No.
You know, I felt that way for a long time.
You know, I actually read an article. There was, those crazy articles you see where they have a picture of an X-ray of a person, and there's like, it's worm-ridden or something like that. It says like, this person ate too much sushi, and they're like, look it up on Snopes. They're like, that is
bull
not
crap.
where that comes from. That is not actually a thing.
Oh, I remember that one. It was floating around on Facebook for a while.
hell are you talking about?
Yeah. So anyway, Joe's worried about getting worms.
Yes, yes, I
And,
am.
I am only slightly
Nothing for you.
slightly concerned for getting worms by eating tacos from the street. I would say they were fine.
They were fine.
You can't even say anything like, we should have got the guy's name, like tacos by.
Yeah, this is the thing that concerns me is that you
remember.
guys don't even know where you got these from. Like that.
All right,
that-
so what
they
happens
won't
is if
even
you're
be
going
there tomorrow.
down-
It's like those car dealerships that you see that miraculously appear one day, and then you buy the car from them, and you drive it home, and it breaks down, and the next day you go back, and they're not there anymore. It's like a ghost town.
What
One
are
of
you
those
talking
pop-up
about?
used car dealerships, and you went to a pop-up taco stand.
This sounds like an
That's
episode
the
of the
best food
Twilight
ever.
Zone. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it sounds like episode 1 where the guy's walking around and there's nobody there. Never mind. You have to see it. So, anywho, they weren't that bad. We got 4 of them, and I'm cool with Joe not eating the cabeza because it was good.
So
Everybody
anyway,
needs a little cabeza in their life.
yeah,
That'll be the day.
tacos by Raul. He was, I would say,
Why
he
are
was
you making up names
I'm
now?
making up a name for him. He's got to have a name. I'm sure it's something like that. Tacos by Paulo. They were.
to try and forget you said that.
I would give it a 1.5 local boys.
I don't know if I would
Do you have
eat
anything
those.
besides Mexican food?
All you need is Mexican food. I'm good. Put down on some
I
Mexican food.
do you think it was the fact that when I walked up, I was like, he was like, "Hey, what do you guys want?" And I was like, "Hey, what do you got? Are you just doing tacos? You got burritos?"
Maybe he thought you were
Do you
trying to
think-
score drugs.
Do you think me asking for burrito was what put him put his
I
jaw
don't know,
out of
man.
joint?
I think what put his jaw out of joint is the fact that he was sitting over there cooking tacos in 190-degree heat. That might
and
have
you
something
asked
to do
for a
with it.
burrito. That might have done it,
Like,
though.
no, I don't have no daggone burritos. You see the sign that says tacos. Actually, they didn't have a sign. It would have been an improvement. And for the price,
Yeah, what? They were like
they were like a buck
a
and a quarter each,
$1.25,
buck and a half.
$1.50 each.
Yeah, we got 18 and it was like 16.
No,
we
we
got
got
12 and it was 18
It was 18 bucks.
So,
yeah.
so you walked up and said, "Do you have any burritos?"
Do you
That's
have
gotta be
anything
about
besides
50.
Mexican
and
food?
he said,
Style's getting too rough for me.
Yeah, they
he-
were not bad. I mean, it's street tacos, man.
I would say it was definitely the kind of thing you should sit and eat there. Trying to travel with it was less than ideal.
"You mean it's like In and Out? Because when you get the French fries and then you try to drive home with them, by the time you get home, they're already cold and they're not the same as when they come right off the counter."
Especially if you get them animal style. They're
Ah.
really ruined.
Okay.
They're all sogified.
All right.
But yeah, that's the kind of thing you just got a paper plate. You're throwing some salsas and some
plate,
crap on
actually,
there or
we
whatever.
might have to address that.
Oh yeah, we got to scrub that off and put it in the recycling.
What?
Styrofoam plate.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh wait, it's not worth it. They're just gonna throw it away.
Okay. So
Take that, Dolphins.
So we're saying
Suck
1.5
on that.
local boys on this one. Is that?
I wouldn't. I maybe less, because I would say if I saw this mysterious man serving tacos again, I would not stop.
You would not stop again. Oh,
so.
okay.
I
All
would
right.
keep on trucking down the street to Burger King or whatever.
The
Oh,
Alpa store
wow.
wasn't bad, but the other ones there was like zero seasoning on them. They didn't put anything on.
But so we don't want to make this indicative of all street taco vendors. Just
No,
this
I'm doing
particular
that.
one.
I'm saying that all of them are terrible.
Nah,
Really?
they're all about like that.
Oh wow. Okay.
The taco
all right.
trucks are legit. The pop-up tents,
Okay. All right. Well.
bro, invest in some wheels.
So I guess that's what you guys did with the food.
Not yet.
All right. Well, so this has been another exciting episode of What's in Your Face right here with the local boys. And yeah, stay away from the street taco vendors.
In your face.
We got some chat going on the Facebook. We got Emerson jumping up. He says, "Can I get a shout out, my fam?"
Ooh.
Shout out to the fam.
All right. Hey,
Shout out,
fams.
Emerson.
How you doing?
Thanks
Local
for
boys saying
watching.
hello. Appreciate it, Emerson.
Thanks for watching.
Can I get a paycheck? You help a brother out. You
And
want to sponsor
Rock-
the show?
Can I get a thumbs up on the Facebook page?
And Roxy wants to know, why is it called around midnight? It's not even 11.
Again, Roxy, we touched on that at the beginning of the show. We've been doing this show since the early 1990s, and when we originally were on the air, it would go on at midnight because, frankly, nobody thought we were good enough for anything earlier than that. So we would go on the air at midnight, and that was the name of the show, and we're still doing the same show. So we
And we're
just kept the
old.
name. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm not trying to be up at no midnight doing this nonsense.
we thought about changing it
crazy?
to at 10 p.m., but it just doesn't roll off the tongue like around midnight did.
Yeah.
Besides which, since we're actually available on YouTube after the fact, or even still on Facebook, you can actually watch us time delayed. You can click us on at midnight, and we'll still be around midnight. You can't call in at that point, but you can't have your cake and eat it too, Roxy.
You can call in. You can call in and leave us a message.
That's true. You could call and leave us a message. You can always post in the chat post show. So yeah, I guess you can. have
Joe,
your
she
cake
said
and
I
eat it too.
know. You're over-explaining this.
I'm answering the question. Don't
Bro.
ask a question you don't want an answer to.
Bro.
Dang, and she says Chipotle food is worse.
And she would be right.
Yeah,
Is it?
I'm not
No
sure I'm going to
way.
argue with her on
No
that one.
way.
I don't think Chipotle is that great.
Chipotle is good.
Wait, aren't they the ones that got busted several
Several
times
times.
for foodborne illnesses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's going to happen. It's
my
gonna
stomach
ebb
doesn't
and
feel
flow.
great right now. So I can't say
That's
that I
because you
didn't.
ate the cabeza.
I didn't catch a foodborne illness.
I didn't touch the cabeza, and I feel all right.
The cabeza is good, man. And I didn't want to
Yeah.
do it because everybody thinks when they hear cabeza, they're thinking sesos. It's not the same
For
thing.
those of you who don't know Spanish, cabeza is head, sesos is brains.
Yeah. And I would take cabeza over lengua. I don't understand people that do lengua.
That's tongue, by the way, and I won't
can't.
touch that either.
It's not terrible. It's just not my favorite. But cabeza is so tender.
No, I'm not
Oh my
trying
gosh,
it.
it
No.
is so delicious.
Not eating that. Not
It's a little greasy though.
Yeah, and you like that with fava beans and a nice Chianti? We're gonna get sued for that, I'm sure.
Nobody's gonna get that reference, man.
Watch them block
No
us
one.
from YouTube.
That's
Okay.
one of the most recognizable quotes of the last decade. Well, not a decade.
Yeah. Century, maybe?
Century. Yeah, let's say that.
Well, the last half of a century anyway, 50 years. How about that? Because,
Bi-
I mean, if you go back before that, there was like, frankly,
bicentennial.
Scarlett, I don't give a damn. I mean, wasn't that a pretty recognizable quote
Yeah,
back in its
except that's
day?
not actually the quote.
Yeah, he actually said, "Hey, bitch, you got dress made out of curtains."
That's not what he said at all.
That's what he said.
But you know what? Speaking of references that nobody will get, if you ever watched the Carol Burnett show, they did a classic send-up of that where she grabs the curtains off the wall and puts them on, including the curtain rod, and it was absolutely hilarious. So I know that nobody knows what I'm talking about there, but if you ever look up the Carol Burnett show on the internet, because it's got to be on YouTube or something somewhere, look up that whole thing about
man.
Gone with the Wind. It was really good. All right, I guess on that note, it's probably about time for us to be saying our goodbyes because we're just about out of time. Did anybody have any closing thoughts, any parting shots before we wind this up?
Why did you have to put the emphasis on shots and look at me?
You know what? That wasn't where I was going.
Like, anybody have any parting shots?
It really wasn't where I was
Anybody
going.
got something else to say? What was that?
Does anybody got anything left for this guy? Anything left in the clip?
Do you have a permit to be on that microphone?
Oh my goodness, probably not.
Yeah.
So, was that a no? Then is that what that was? I see you thinking there, CJ.
It would be too much for the slate in the game.
No, please go ahead. No.
We got to save it for later.
Well,
man.
you know what? That would be a good cliffhanger. Why don't you bring something up now and we can pick it up again next
I'm
Friday
not starting
night?
that fight right now. We can start that fight next.
Oh, now I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
You can't give us a tease, anything?
Not as yet. I mean, I'm sure something's crazy is going to happen.
In other words, he doesn't actually have any idea.
Well,
He's
I
just-
mean, there's the thing, like, and I've been hearing this, and I'm like wondering what now maybe he's talking about Russia, but Trump keeps talking about how the economy's getting better, and I'm like, what the hell economy is he talking about?
Well, you know what? It's improved over, let's say, 2007, but I don't believe Trump had anything to do with that. It would have improved on its own anyway, because once you go down, you
wouldn't.
have no place left to go but up.
I don't know that would improve by itself.
Are you really going to sit here and tell me that Trump made the economy better?
No, I'm not saying that at all, but I don't know, man.
Certainly Obama was
I don't
working
think
on
it's
that long
improved
before.
that much is what I'm saying.
Oh, well, let's
But Obama,
Again,
okay, all that hype that Obama did about, we created it was always created or saved X number of jobs, and it was always some weird random like 372 jobs. I'm like, what is that?
Oh, well, I agree.
That's how you know he's telling the truth.
that we're talking about improvement by degrees here. We're not talking some kind of radical transformation.
I don't think there was even that.
Huh. All right. Okay. Well, we'll definitely have to discuss this on next
Dang.
Friday night show. I think that's a great
Yeah, you
topic.
ain't got your boys back.
Not my boy. Don't get me started, dude. Not this late in the game, man.
Come on, we know you love Trump.
No.
Well,
I don't love him. I just don't hate him.
You have that vote for Trump bumper sticker on.
I don't do bumper stickers.
Trump 2020.
And that is not the bumper sticker to be rocking, unless you're in Orange County, or maybe Riverside County or San Bernardino County. I don't know. how
No,
y'all
I'm
roll.
pretty sure that Riverside and San Bernardino County do not love Trump.
You need to check out your neighbors.
Yeah. Anyway,
Like, oh yeah, of course he won Kentucky. That's where all the racists are.
that is a reference to a Saturday Night Live skit that we had the opportunity to review prior to going on the air tonight. Oh, see, I said it on the air. Going on the nets. I gotta work on that. Anyway, remember to check out the MalibuFilmFestival.com and donate at MalibuFilmFestival.com/donate. And if you have production needs, check out Mixified Media Solutions. You can call them 951-356-6882. On behalf of the local boys, Todd Chevelle and myself, Joe Carbonetta, thanks for watching tonight. This has been Around Midnight with the local boys. And don't drink and drive, and above all, stay Mixified. We'll see you next Friday night. Around Midnight is a production of Mixified Media Solutions. Mixified is a full-service multimedia production company. From boardroom to broadcast, whatever your production needs, Mixified is your solution. Go to Mixified.com, that's MIXAFIED, or call 951-356-6882. Mixified Media Solutions.